What's going on, everybody? Brian here from Brian's Broadcast. I hope all of you are doing fantastic. I'll tell you a little story and then I'll move on to the fragrance part. So, it was the year of 2012, and I was in Italy for the first time, and of course, roaming around in Rome. And then finally, I spotted this particular cosmetic or beauty store at the Grand Termini train station, if I remember correctly. So, over there, my mom purchased some fragrances, some other cosmetic items, and of course, they did hand over a couple of fragrance samples. Now, among those samples was this one particular JPG fragrance, Jean Paul Gaultier. And like I did not really bother trying it back then while I was still in Rome. But, like when I came back home after a couple of months, I tried that sample. And my God, I made that big mistake of not trying it back then because I could have bought a full bottle while in Rome. But of course, I was young. Of course, I was dumb. And when I tried the sample, really liked it. I let some of my friends do like a couple of sprays in that, like whatever was left in that tiny sample, and everybody seemed to like it. Now, of course, it never occurred to me that the fragrance might get discontinued. Of course, I was not aware of all these things back then, right? And yeah, fast forward to all these years, and then suddenly I get this feeling that, wait, I forgot about the fragrance. What if I can find that fragrance? Which I did, and I found it on eBay for a great price. I got a 125 ml bottle of Jean Paul Gaultier's discontinued Le Male Terrible. Now, of course, I did hear a lot of people pronounce this part as terrible, terrible, whatever, man. I'll just call it terrible, okay? I mean, plain English. So if you noticed, if you did watch one of those less than 1 minute clip that I posted, I pointed out like how this particular canister looks almost, the color combo almost sort of kind of resembles the Ultra Male version of this Le Male lineup. This is the canister, of course, the typical canister. And why am I doing this video? Because, like, personally, when I discover or rediscover, if I may say, a certain item that was already discontinued and I got it back, I just want to keep a memory of this thing, like the excitement, all the memories that I'm gonna create with this fragrance. So again, moving on, this is the BPI version. As you can see, it's right there. So I heard BPI produced some of the best JPG fragrances, if I'm not mistaken. Drop a comment, let me know if I'm mistaken, please. Like, I'm not a fragrance guru. So yeah, that's the canister. And of course, the seller on eBay did mention that the canister will come dented. So things and dents perfectly fine. But that person promised, there was no cellophane though. So that person promised, the seller promised, and that it was an unsprayed and brand new bottle. So again, no cellophane. And of course, let me just show you something in case you're you're not aware. This is what the interior looks like on the BPI version. And of course, the holder, as you can see, there's no velvet or satin kind of thing inside. It's just a plastic clip, and the bottle sits right in there. Enough chit chat with the canister. This is the beautiful bottle. As you can see, there's a razor blade ornament, and this is holding on to the lock on the cap. Beautiful bottle, I must say, like the color presentation and everything. Very nice. Glossy bottle with those lines, those lateral lines. Beautiful bottle in my opinion. So today, my friends, I'm going to do a revisit and a first impression of a discontinued fragrance. So stick around, please. If you're feeling bored, you can always drop a comment. Tell me which JPG version do you like most. So from what I can remember, this used to have this little twist on the original's DNA. So I'm really curious to find out what this one smells like after all these years. Imagine discovering this thing back in 2012 and it's 2026. And I'm smelling this. I finally have a full bottle. That's a 125 ml bottle. So before I proceed, I'll just tell you about the notes. So on the top, you've got grapefruit and pink pepper. On the mids, you've got lavender and vetiver. And on the base, you've got vanilla and amber. Pretty straightforward, but if I can remember correctly, this one has a different twist, a different take on it. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I do remember it was sort of kind of different from the OG. Let's go ahead and spray this. Let's find out if the eBay seller was telling the truth and what this thing smells like. Man, I don't even know if this thing contains water or the real juice. Let's go ahead and find out. So here goes. Seems like it was a brand new bottle. All right, so in the opening, it definitely feels a bit more harsh compared to the original one. But you can tell, like, there's this big oomph, like a big dose of lavender coming through. It's not as sweet in the opening as the OG. So the grapefruit, I must say, the pink pepper, it's a peppery opening, it's warm, and the grapefruit is not one of your sweet, fruity, tutti frutti kind of thing. It's just it's just the zest part, I believe. So you do get some of the spiciness popping from the zest. Oh man, bringing back all those memories. So it's definitely going to take some time because I do feel some kind of like a peppery, not so sweet tardiness coming through. So that's definitely the grapefruit. And in case you did not know, the pink pepper sometimes, or for the most part in fragrances, it does have some kind of like a citrusy kind of vibe to it. Like, it's not always just the warmth that comes through. There's also like a citrusy vibe that comes through from pink pepper. That's the best part about this thing. So if you will notice, like if you're carefully noticing all those things in fragrances, that whenever citruses are used and you do see the presence of pink pepper, it's kind of working like an enhancer to the citrus. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ah, man, this is good. This fragrance is definitely gonna take some time because if, and I believe the seller was, telling the truth, if this thing has been sitting like this, intact, unsprayed, so this thing has macerated and matured to I don't know what, but it does smell very different from the OG because the OG, I remember, like I don't own the OG, but I've smelled it 1,000 times at Macy's and other places, but it does have that DNA, but it smells, it goes in a whole different direction. But the thing is, like, this one, I remember one thing, it remained pretty linear. So it's sort of kind of like a fragrance which, it opens up a bit, does not develop or, change too much. It stays sort of kind of constant, which in my opinion, sometimes it's a good thing because like you don't really always need fragrances that, open up or develop or transition too much. You need fragrances like that in your collection because, if it smells good right from the start, you don't want it to change. Say, for instance, sometimes I do enjoy fragrances that, like that has a very nice opening. So imagine a fragrance like this. I like the opening. I like what it smells until the mids and all the way to the base. And it sort of kind of stays the same. Doesn't transition too much, doesn't open up too much. So the variance is not there. But in my opinion, sometimes it's a good thing to have not too much of a variation. Whew. It does feel somewhat kind of like a salty, metallic kind of vibe. I'm not sure if it's coming from the lavender vetiver combination. There's a very strong masculine vibe that comes through. It's not one of your like, I would say it's more of like a more gentlemanly, a more mature crowd pleaser, if I may say. Definitely might not appeal to the younger crowd. Again, if you do happen to have this, drop a comment. Let me know if you like this fragrance or not. This is Le Male Terrible, whatever. I'm so happy to have this in my collection, like back in my collection. Beautiful stuff. So this thing's going to take a while, I'm pretty sure. I hope it did not go bad, but because so far it does smell and it's smelling exactly like the way I remembered it. In fact, it's feeling much more stronger, more denser. Pretty sure the top notes are messed up because of all these years. I don't know how it was stored. But again, guys, that's just my feeling about this fragrance. I'm super happy that I finally have it in my collection. Very nice. So again, not probably a crowd pleaser. It's probably not going to cater to everyone's taste, but I'm pretty sure mature crowd will enjoy or appreciate this fragrance. So guys, that will be all, and I'm super excited and super happy to have Le Male Terrible in my collection. If you happen to have it, drop a comment. I'll be very happy to hear back from you. And of course, drop a comment. Do tell me what's your favorite Le Male flanker. Talk to me about it. If it's a discontinued item, do you have anything that you rediscovered or repurchased later down the line? How did you come about, finding that? Talk to me. I'll be very happy to hear back from you. I'll see you in the next one. Please take care, stay safe, and all the best.